Hello, my name is Ann Ewan. I am the Chief Curator of Art and Heritage at the Whyte Museum of the Canadian Rockies in Banff. And the ball you heard just bounce down the stairs belongs to Jess, who is the wonderful dog of the artist we are about to visit, Colleen Campbell. So as we enter her studio, here's Colleen working away on a new drawing, and I'm just going to do a slow pan of the room to give you a sense of her space. And there's the bouncy ball again. Colleen, could you please share some insights into your artistic practice?
Oh, yes. For decades, my focus has been on the relationship between humans and animals, and that came from traveling in other parts of the world, in the Arctic, in the Himalayas, and living in different parts of Canada. And when I started to work on wildlife here in the national parks, my focus became really finely tuned on our relationship historically with coyotes initially, and then with grizzly bears. But I have a background in the visual arts, and I took tons of art history, and so threads of art history feature in my work. It's like the pieces you've seen of my illuminations for coyote, when I realized coyote had been a god for 10,000 years, and Christ got illuminations after 1,200 years, and I thought, hell, coyote needs illuminations. And so I kind of borrowed from Western art history and North American relationships with coyote, and did a bunch of dancing coyotes, and then used puns like "who let the gods out" and "the dogs must be crazy" to define them. So those come into play, and then I did the Wanted series, sort of as a play on the wanted posters that used to go up in post offices for felons, for the animals that we love to hate, or some of the animals we love to hate. I only did coyote, raven, and bear because they're the biggest iconically in our culture. And so I draw from art history. I draw from my background in design. I draw from all the biology and all the wildlife work I've done. And I draw from things that I read. And I love puns. So now I'm working on COVID-19. Which, shall I hold it up? Sure. So it's a corvid with 19 crab apples. And it's preoccupied me since lockdown. Partly I worked slowly, and secondly I had a bit of time out because I was preoccupied by other things I had to deal with in my own life. And I've just been having fun with it. I actually started writing a short story called, it doesn't have a name, but Corvid comes into play in that too. Corvid-19 and Corvette-19.
Colleen, how has your creativity changed during the current global pandemic?
I don't think it's changed. I think I realize how much time I waste when we're not in a pandemic. And so it's made me aware that I could be a lot more productive. It's made me aware that I want to experiment more. And so there's a collage growing on the table, that crazy table over there. And in my correspondence with Karen McDermott, she's making me want to tune up my capacity on my iPad, the graphic capacity of my iPad, and then try printing and working back into some images, and doing some things that are fast and small and really colorful, because I've got stuck in drawing, and I love watercolor and I love oil painting, and to do more.
What are you learning about and thinking about these days?
Ooh, well, at the beginning of the lockdown, I became absolutely preoccupied with reading about COVID-19. And then I started thinking about the loops that we got stuck in, about how long it would take for a vaccine and whether or not you could tell if somebody had had it just because they had a few symptoms. And I talked to a lot of people who were anxious because they'd wake up in the morning with a cough. And I think, I wake up with a cough every morning. The air is dry here. And so I thought about those a lot. And then I started thinking about the kinds of change that people have voluntarily made to a huge extent, at least in the culture that I live in. And I started to hope that maybe some of those changes would stick, that we'd get really thoughtful about maybe not traveling so easily just to take selfies, that our travel would be more purposeful and less frequent, that we wouldn't use our cars as much. God, I haven't put like $50 worth of gas in my car, even with trips to Calgary in the last 2 months. And isn't that great? And I'm thinking, holy mackerel, look at all the money I'm saving. Because I'm not responding to spontaneous invitations to go somewhere for dinner, a restaurant for dinner tonight or tomorrow night. And I realize I don't actually have to do that. I just do it because I'm lazy. So I've been thinking about those things and thinking about how my own life can change and how maybe I can contribute to change through some of the things I do about wildlife, and maybe through, I don't know, I think my art has a component to build awareness in people. I'm really aware of content when I work and ideas. And if I can reach out through my art, that would be really nice too.
Okay. So one of the things I was going to mention that I've noticed just in conversation with you about this is how happy the environment is. Like, we have elk wandering all over the streets in Banff.
I had a squirrel on my porch this morning. That's never happened here.
Yeah. There's no traffic. There's nobody. I can literally ride my bike down the yellow line, the center of Banff Avenue.
Yeah.
Elk are there, deer are there, the birds, the noise of the birds is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And the air is so fresh and clean. And the other thing that I noticed is that a lot of people have dogs. Of course, you don't notice that because it's usually so packed with people.
But they're all out walking now.
Everybody's out walking. And you can really, really hear the train now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I can really, really not hear the helicopters.
Yes.
I'm thrilled
to
not hear helicopters. And I thought, well, I can kind of live with them for, a little bit, but it's become ubiquitous here.
Yeah.
And I realized how much anxiety I had about them.
Yeah.
Now that they're gone.
Yeah.
It's great.